That's Immortal Technique.
Nice to meet you, man.
Master on the mic.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, sir?
I'm just, I'm enjoying the festivities, my brother.
Listen, man, I got your number a couple of days ago, and I was lightweight shook. I said, I don't think you were supposed to send me his number like this.
Nah.
My thing.
As long as you ain't call him, ask me for no money.
Right. But I'm always oblivious that people have seen me and know who I am.
Of course,
and how I
man.
get down.
We watch your fights in the studio, man.
Yeah.
You have no idea. Half the room was cheering for Spence. The other half was cheering for you. They was upset in the last round. They were like, no.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where all the homies get together and just put the fight on.
Listen, so when you say they was upset in the last round, what made everybody upset in the last round?
They was rooting for half of the, like I said, the room is split. Half of them going to root for Spence, half of them rooting for Porter.
Yeah.
So they were like, no. There was like dead even. It was like motherfuckers down to the wire. And it was crazy. It was kind of like, for example, I thought that they were going to give you the decision against Garcia.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when that didn't happen, it's like, what the
I got
fuck?
the decision against Garcia.
No, sorry. Against Ugas.
Oh, Ugas.
Ugas.
I got the decision against Ugas.
Thurman.
Too.
He thinking Thurman.
From
the
battle. New York, right?
Yeah.
The New York fight. Yeah. You thought I was going to get that decision. Yeah, I thought, it is what it is.
That was a lot.
Were you coming out here for Keith Thurman and Tim Tszyu?
No, to be honest, I do a lot of writing. So I've been doing more of that, like in terms of movies, TV, stuff like that, fixing scripts
Childish.
and stuff. But
I know you
really, I got called out
he
here.
Bad, yo. Write something while you do the show.
Why are you doing this?
He's bad. Yo, he that bad. I'm about to prove it. Go ahead, do your thing.
Hey, hold on. How the fuck you give me a pen that don't work, Shawn?
You're not paying attention. You're not paying it. You're not.
He ain't right.
I'll write something.
I'll write it in my head. There you go.
But no. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Nah, look, I've never been a professional fighter, but I grew up in New York City during a very grimy era. We used to go to the fights as a kid. In the projects over at Grant, nobody had no money to order no pay-per-view, so they just used to put a big projector on and run a wire down from the 7th floor and just put a little projector and put it on for everybody to fight. That's how we seen the Oscar Floyd fight. So it was like back in the day, people loved that. And for me, I love the energy. I love the atmosphere. It's also a sport that you can't play. You don't play boxing. You know, there are more injuries in MMA, but there are more deaths in boxing. Obviously, less now that they cut off the last 3 rounds. It's no longer 15 rounds, but there's very few sports where a person gets up and continues playing or trying to kill the other person when the other person already has a concussion.
Yeah.
Like, fam, you got a concussion since the 7th round. You should go home. You should technically be in the fucking hospital, but you're still letting somebody bang away at your fucking head until you die.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's some real shit, man. It's not something you toy with. It definitely also brings out a father-son element that a lot of people misjudge about the sport. Because when I go to see the Golden Gloves back in the day, or I see anything, it's always people with their family, people with their father.
Yeah.
Look at you and your father, right?
Yeah.
Tyson Fury, his father.
Yeah.
Mayweather, his father, right? Everybody came in the game pretty much as their father and went through a process of either saying, all right, this is where I'm going to start and finish, or going from being completely dependent on an individual to being completely independent naturally breeds conflict. So you're going to have a situation where you're like, all right, I think that this route is different for me. For example, that's Roy Jones Jr.'s story. He's like, all right, I did enough. I had enough of this. I want to do something different. I want to have a different trainer. So, I mean, it's give and take.
Yeah. Oh, you got anything?
What early on boxers or boxing match you remember that brought you into the sport?
Oh, man, anything with Sugar Ray Leonard.
Oh, we went back.
Anything with Sugar Ray Leonard.
Okay.
He was my favorite fighter as a kid, and it was also because when I keep telling this story, it's just sad, but it's funny. I got these boxing gloves for Christmas when I was like 5 years old, and it was from Woolworths. It's a store that don't exist. It don't exist no more. Them lunch counters days, you know what I mean? So it had Sugar Ray Leonard's signature on it. So for the longest time, I really thought as a kid that was his signature until they just started tearing me up one day because I brought him to the park by the projects, and they was like, come on, son, you know that's not that motherfucking signature, you goofy. I'm like, what do you mean? It's and they were like, no, they just printed on the fucking glove. But when I talked to Sugar, he was like, yo, I'll get you a glove, man. Next time I see you technique, I get you a glove. Super down to earth, cool person. And I think that's the other thing I love about this sport. Look at yourself. Look at the vast majority of boxers that I met. are killers in the ring.
Yeah.
Like if you turn on your killer instinct, Shawn, you smile, but you want to fucking finish a person. And you're not satisfied until they're leaking blood out of the orifices of their body. And yet you're going to shake their hand and be polite afterwards and walk off with some dignity and self-respect.
True story. So I started boxing when I was 8 years old, started competing when I was 8 years old. I think by the time I was 9 years old, I started getting guys in the first round where they would be bleeding. In the first round, when I'm 9 years old. And I remember being 9 years old, after the first round, I would look over to see if my opponent was bleeding yet. Second round, I look over to see if they bleeding yet. Like, that's kind of where I come from when this thing. Did you train? Have you ever done any training?
I did more jiu-jitsu than anything else.
Okay.
So,
it's a great answer, by the way, because we're coming to New York soon. I'm gonna get you in the gym.
Please, man, come by. Hey, wait, I'm gonna get y'all the best food in New York. How about that?
I'm on it.
Come on, you need to come Harlem to get that real fish spot, not that bullshit downtown.
Our guys in Harlem.
That Jamaican food. Hold on.
That's my
LA don't have good
spot.
LA don't have good Jamaican food. LA don't have good Jamaican food.
Not like New York.
Not out here. You gotta go beyond the
Okay. Now, and I get the Chinese spot too. Okay, I'll be on it.
The only thing New York don't have is good Mexican food.
So we'll be out there soon, man. But I was really, really excited to hear that you were coming out here. Didn't realize you were a boxing fan or like that. So
no, I mean, I definitely, I'm a student of the game. I'm obviously not as well seasoned as some of the other people that are commenting here and learning, but I do enjoy it. And also, touching on the father-son thing, my father got sick himself maybe a few years ago, and we started going to more boxing events together, and I saw him light up. You know, I took him to see the Better BF Joe Smith Jr. fight, which was over way too quickly. But then we went to a bunch of other stuff. He definitely likes it. He's not necessarily a violent person, but loves the sport. He was in the military for years, but I think it's just something that brings people together. Ironically, even people that don't like combat sports like that, if there's somebody from where they're from, right? Like they from Nigeria or Ecuador, and then you're like, yo, somebody from Ecuador. Who, where? Yeah. From where in Ecuador? That you find people come alive, and they're not necessarily violent individuals. Some people just hate blood sport, period. But at the same time, they're drawn to this because they see the science, the technical aspect that it takes, the IQ that it takes for someone to measure distance and also to measure the capacity of another person. Because there's something that somebody said to me that never got out my head. You can knock anybody out, sure, but only that man decides when he's done. Only that man decides when he's defeated. You can get fucked up, but only you decide if you defeated. If you decide you defeated, you crawling home. If you're not defeated, you getting up from your beating, you making that phone call. All right, yo, tomorrow we're going to go to this person's house, and we're going to call them out for the fair one. And I'm going to, in front of their mom and that, I'm talking to you, the pussy in the blue hat. You, get the fuck over here. We're going to do this again. I wasn't satisfied with yesterday's results. So that's the world I come from in New York City.
Yes, sir.
We had something called the fair one. And that's when people wouldn't jump in.
It was time.
Shoot the fair one.
That doesn't exist no more.
Yeah.
But you know where that culture comes from? It comes from a dojo culture. There used to be wild dojos in Harlem. Like in the black community in New York City, Latino community, people don't talk about this enough. There used to be wild gyms, boxing gyms, martial arts gyms, all during like the 60s, 70s, and even in the 80s. Remember the blaxploitation movies where everything was black kung fu artists? A lot of people was on that. And I feel like that culture, since it died down, people came up more with the, I'm going to shoot him because I'm too pussy to fight him in the ring. Like, dude, put your fucking hands up. Man. Take your beating like a man and go the fuck home and think about life.
Well, listen, when I come to New York, all right, we're going to spar, and I want to see if you talk that.
Listen, man, hold on. What do you weigh right now, Shawn?
You're going to go to the mirror. You're going to go back in the mirror.
147. Look at a professional boxer wants to spar me. All right.
That's crazy.
As soon as you start rap battling me, then
you ain't allowed to be
there. Hey, we got you the fair one.
I'll bring the homie. I'll bring all the big homies.
Yeah. Listen, man, I've enjoyed meeting you. We're going to talk offline.
Definitely.
One more thing. Shout out what you got going on, what you got coming out, any projects you've been working on.
For those of you that want to support me right now, I'm doing writing. I'm coming out with new music, but I actually have a charity and we feed elders in Harlem. It's called Rebel Army Runs. We provide a 2-week food pack. We provide diapers and feminine products. We started this during the pandemic because the mayor shut down 2 food programs. So we take care of the hood literally. We out there every other week on Wednesday giving out. So if you want to donate to us, you could go to Tech Immortal at IG or Immortal Tech at Twitter, X, or whatever. And you could donate. It's called Rebel Army Runs. That's the charity. And we give 100% of those donations away to the people that are in need. And we became a 501c3 2 years ago. And we appreciate all the love and support that we've gotten from the people. And we're just here to see a great fight. I love the card. I love the fact. I mean, it's sad that Thurman is out, but I'll take a fight for 2 belts rather than a fight for no belts.
Yeah.
And that makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yes, sir. Big Dog, I appreciate you, man. I always like to say, like, I like true lyrical content. I like intelligent rappers, man. You fit that mold, man. So
Man, listen.
I appreciate you,
Listen,
man.
politically, you've been living a lie. It's been a soft coup ever since Kennedy died. I take tank parts behind enemy lines. It's like Saigon 1975. Afghanistan walking through enemy mines. I escaped all the corners trying to survive, like Chris Dorner when they burnt him alive. And just like him, I got a fucking surprise. I know it's difficult to see the divide when you're already addicted to what they prescribe. When the aliens arrive, it's another distraction, consolidating all the political factions, paying them with digital currency transactions, part of the plan to get a violent reaction. Good night.
Oh!